So I built an entire Minecraft city in just 48 hours. This is how I did it. I obviously had to start with something very simple, such as a road system, so I could start placing my builds around. I tried making the roads as simple but good looking as possible, and I think I did a pretty great job on doing that. But after that I ran into some problems with the lightning on the roads. So I just made something very simple, a very normal looking light pole with a simple lantern as the light. And I think these lights were pretty cool, but I didn't have time to continue making them while I was continuing to build this map. So now when I finally felt finished on the roads, I started building my first buildings, and obviously I had to make a center somewhere around the map. So I decided that this was gonna be the center and that I was gonna place one really tall building as the middle of everything to make sure that you knew exactly where the center was located. This building right here took some hours to build because of the roof, and I feel like it was pretty cool, but it was still a pretty boring looking building. There isn't any interior because that would take plenty of hours and I would not be able to create this entire city in just 48 hours. So after I had made this huge tall building right here, I decided to make a building I called the Freedom Tower. I actually got inspiration from GTA, and this building is the favorite one in the game, which I think looks the best. And the reason is simple, because I like the design. It's so simple and it looks so good. After making my first two buildings, I decided that I wanted to continue making buildings around the center area. And then I decided that I was gonna make two colorful buildings, or one, least to say, but they were both connected with each other. So these two buildings right here, the blue one and the white one, are connected, and in my opinion this looks very cool, and this really does fit in the center. I obviously didn't just want to have simple apartment buildings. I actually also wanted to build a bank or something that would just stand out to the normal. So I actually ended up building a bank, and in my opinion it went pretty well. I did add some interior to it, not the best, but it was something. Outside the bank I built this very simple stand, just to bring some more color to the city. Then I decided that I was gonna make more apartment and office buildings, so I just kept on building normal, simple, square buildings. Pretty boring, but in my opinion, that's exactly what a city looks like. Then I had some leftover space next to my sidewalk, so I decided to make this very small but good looking building. And I think this fits right here very well. It's very empty and small, but you could definitely still work here. And compared to this building right here, that's nothing. This building right here is so small that there is only 2 blocks available for spacing inside the building. So if you want to move in here, well, you're gonna have to decide what furniture you want to have with you, because maybe only a bed will actually fit in here. Then I tried adding some more green to the city, and so I built this very cool apartment right here, which in my opinion looks very great designed, but I would still like to see some more interior and also obviously a bit more time put into this. And every city needs a construction site. That's what's keeping the city alive. A city is always being built, and obviously I had to add this in. My construction site completely failed, and I think this looks very ugly. Just the crane here itself does not look realistic nor good at all, but I feel like the main building and the details look very good. In fact, I even spent extra time making room for you to walk here. I actually did include some stuff in here as well, such as some wooden boxes and stuff, just to make it look more like a construction site. I even added these custom made trapdoors to make this look great. Then I decided I wanted to work on the business side of the city, and this entire area right here is full of businesses, and the building you're seeing right now in front of you took me hours to build. probably around 2-3 hours at least, and the glass itself took me so long my hands were burning, and the next time I'm gonna sit here rebuilding something like this again, Mr. Beast has to pay me 100,000. And obviously I'm not gonna even think about adding interior to this building because this is absolutely insane. Everything handmade. Here we can see another one of these business buildings, but I added something extra to this. So as you can see, pretty boring inside, there isn't a lot. But on the roof, I added a helicopter landing site. So a helicopter can actually land up there, and I find that pretty cool. I even added this little door area here where you can get inside the building if you want to. Behind this business building, I added a very simple apartment building. I think this is a very cool building because it looks pretty cool, and it is in fact the second tallest building in this map. And underneath this building I added some simple design with some staircases leading up to the main floor here. I didn't add any floor inside the building because that would have taken me a while, and I only had 48 hours. So what was I gonna do? Obviously a business building needs a parking garage, somewhere where you can park your vehicles. I spent some time working on this to make it look as good as possible. I didn't add any cars or bikes to it, but I still find it very cool. And I added some very simple designing here to make it look like a barrier that you have to pay to pass, and I feel like I did this pretty well. However, there could have been even more time put into this. There are only 3 floors, there could have been even more, and there wasn't that much space for this. But from what I see and from what I think, yeah, I like this. This building right here is what made me almost lose hope for the entire city itself. This right here is what I call a masterpiece. Literally something I have slapped together for no reason at all. It doesn't even have a purpose, and it isn't even built the same on both sides. So it's a very strange looking building. You can even walk inside it if you want to, but there is really nothing inside. And as you can see, this is not a place where you would like to work. However, I think I added some cool stuff to the roof here, and that is exactly what makes this building stand out a little. And as you can see, the roof of this thing looks ugly, but it does stand out, and that's what makes the city look a bit better. Almost every city has apartment areas, so I built these 4 simple apartment complexes next to each other. This took me probably around an hour or so, and I feel like they were pretty simple and did really fit in here. I didn't want to make another skyscraper right in the middle of this place, so I just made these 4 small buildings. Then I got the idea to build a fire department, which I later named Fire Department 1. And this actually does have some interior, and I want to go inside to check it out. So simply when you get inside, this is what you're gonna see. You can open the doors, you can see all different places. I even added these small trapdoors up here to make it look even better. And these are basically everywhere, and you can find them in every corner. I didn't really interiorate that much. I added some small rooms, I added some cool stuff, yeah, some random stuff, you know. In here we got the place where the fire trucks are supposed to park. We got a bunch of lightning in here. Right here, I don't even know what I added. Just some cool stuff, I guess. If we walk over here, we're gonna soon find a place where we can actually get upstairs. So this is the staircase right here. So if we walk upstairs, this is what we're gonna get to. And as you can see, I've made some pretty cool stuff in here. I feel like this could be interioriated pretty well in the future if I decided to work on this a bit more. And yeah, this looks quite nice, in fact. And this fire department is in fact pretty big, so if you want to walk around and experience this, yeah, it's gonna take a while. But there are more floors than this, do not worry about that. So here we got the second staircase leading up to the next floor. Pretty much the same as the last floor. Some cool bushes, some cool doors, and some random rooms. I think we should find another staircase right in here. Yes, as you can see, there is another staircase which we can just walk to get on top of the top floor. And if we want to walk outside, then we can open these doors and simply head outside. Now we are on the roof. I like the roof design I did. and these simple staircases right here. Really nice stuff. Now to one of my favorite looking places in the city. This place right here. I have made a huge parking lot with a huge light pole. I made some really cool looking roads, and these roads took a really long time to build just because of how it looks and how it turns. So as you can see, all these different blocks are hand built, and I had to design this very carefully. And then, not to make this all a parking lot, I added a hotel in the middle of everything. And I don't know why, but I decided to add the American flag and 2 Ukrainian flags up here. And from the side, this looks like a pretty cool building. I even added some advertisements on these sides to make this look a bit more like real life, because in a lot of places you see these advertisements on buildings. And here I've added some extra design to make the building shine up, because there are lights underneath those trapdoors. On the bottom floor we have some simple stuff such as bushes and a sidewalk where you can walk behind the building, and you can even get inside from behind. I added a custom made glass paints here to make it look pretty nice. And obviously I couldn't leave one building here alone. I had to continue making buildings, and this is where I messed up, and you might be able to tell what I've done. As you can see, we have different type of blocks here, and these were not here before. I first built this building in just this material right here, cut copper, but apparently it was exposed, so this other copper material here started spreading, so these blocks are turning green, which is horrible and looks terrible, but hopefully it might end up like something cool in the future. Maybe, who knows. Here I added some really ugly buildings in my opinion. Very simple square buildings, took me hours to build. And this building right here I thought was so ugly that I decided to make it a construction site. And obviously this is definitely not a finished product yet. And I also forgot to mention that there was some space next to the fire station left behind from when I built it. So I actually had enough place to fit another one of these apartment complexes in here. And I think this one turned out pretty good. I like the material type I used for this. Then I got the crazy idea to build just a random building. I am guessing I'm just gonna call this a school or something, because it kind of reminds me of a school. This building is in fact pretty huge when you look above it, and it was completely handmade as everything else in the city, so it obviously took me some time, especially with the roof and floor inside. Then I made these 3 huge apartment buildings next to each other. I decided to make one in white, which was on top, to make it stand out a bit more, and then these 2 gray houses next to it. And on both sides we have the same material used, and in the middle we have another color, just to make it look a bit different and not the same everywhere. Behind these 3 apartment complexes I tried making another huge looking building, and I thought this was gonna be even taller than these 3 buildings, but I haven't even started on this yet, so if you want me to continue building this, then let me know. That was simply how I made my city in 48 hours. And if you want to see another part 2 or something, then let me know. But yeah, this took time, but it turned out fine. Stay well, and see you in the next vid. Bye.